Welcome, 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 welcome back. What's up to the old homies? What's up to the new homies? I'm Carter, and this is Mass Mondays. What is Mass Mondays, you ask? Mass Mondays is an opportunity to pause, it's an opportunity to check in with self, and it's an opportunity to set intentions for the week. It's been a minute, y'all. I miss you all. Happy New Year's. It's 2024, and it feels good to be back here. And so, this is our first Mass Mondays of 2024. And so, I greet you. I hope that, all has been well on your end and that you're feeling good about this new year. And yeah, so let's get right into it. As always, we love to start and end with gratitude. One of the main reasons why we love to start with gratitude is because it's just a practice, a daily practice, right? Of being able to identify the things that we're grateful for. And, when we're able to do that, when I'm able to do that, how it allows for me to just feel better about my day because I'm already walking into it with gratefulness. So even when those things that are unexpected happen, I'm like, it's all good because there's those three things, those two things that I've been able to identify that I am grateful for. And so that's why we love to start our time together with gratitude, and we also like to end our time with gratitude. All right, and so two things that I am grateful for. One is just being just like those humbling moments. Uh, so I had a chance to go to Brazil for about a month and a half, a month and some change, and it was so dope. It was so powerful. I feel a lot of gratitude for just being able to go, being able to stay that long, for my experiences there, and it was very humbling to be there. And in Brazil, the spoken language is Portuguese. The main language is Portuguese, and I don't speak Portuguese, right? And so going to another country by myself, not speaking the language, and just navigating, what that means to learn the language, but also not always being able to understand others, not being understood by others, and just navigating the challenges that may come from that. And for me, it was really humbling because it was a reminder that one, this is something that so many other people experience when traveling, but especially coming to the U.S. And for me, it was also a reminder to the importance of learning more languages. It's easy to be like, oh, I'm an American, I'm only gonna learn English. And it's like, no, that's not enough. It's not enough. If you wanna see the world, if you wanna see the world, if you wanna connect with others. And so it was a really humbling moment for me to remind myself that, whenever I go to a country, to just put a little bit more effort. I feel like I typically try to learn some basic phrases, but this trip I didn't get a chance to do it. And I did learn over time, and I was, able to speak a little bit of Portuguese, just like very, very basic, which was really cool. But so that was really humbling. It was just a reminder that we are always supposed to be learning. We can always learn, and to just make time to learn, all right, especially when entering a new place, a new country. So that was one of the moments that I was really grateful for. The second that I was grateful for is feeling embraced. Um, when I left and I was in Brazil, I felt really embraced. I went to Salvador Bahia, which is, as everyone knows, it's like the blackest city outside of Africa. And so being there, feeling embraced, my blackness being embraced, just felt really good. It felt really, really, really good. And also even just coming back home, and not necessarily being embraced by people, but just feeling welcomed back into my space because I created a space that feels like home. And so those are two things that I'm grateful for. When you think of gratitude for you, what comes to mind? So I want you to just take some time to think about that as I light our Palo Santo stick. The Palo Santo stick is lit, lit, lit. The Palo Santo stick is lit, lit, lit. The Palo Santo stick is lit, lit, lit. The Palo Santo stick is lit. It's lit. All right, and so I hope you had a chance to just think about, something that you're grateful for in this moment. Um, and, regardless of what, when you're looking at this video, whether it's in the morning, the afternoon, the evening, uh, still take a moment to just figure out, find something, two things that you're grateful for, and savor on that, really savor on that gratitude. Um, so now we've had a chance to talk a little bit about gratitude. Now we're going to move into breathing. And so pretty much we're going to just take 3 deep breaths together. We're going to inhale, we're going to exhale, we're going to inhale, we're going to exhale, we're going to inhale, and then we're going to exhale. But instead of me saying exhale, I'm going to say intentionally. The reason why I say that is because we are constantly inhaling so many different experiences. And when I say exhale, this is an opportunity to intentionally exhale the things that you want to release, you want to let go. And so that's why I say intentionally. All right. So I'm going to do 1, and then we're going to do 3 together. All right. Just so you can see what it looks like. I'm going to give it a countdown. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 3, 2, 1. Intentionally. So that's what it looks like, y'all. That is what it looks like. All right, so you ready? I'm assuming you just said you're ready. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 3, 2, 1. Intentionally. 2 more, y'all. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 3, 2, 1. Intentionally. Last one, y'all. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 3, 2, 1. Intentionally. Shout out to you. Shout out to you for being here. Shout out to you for just taking a moment to breathe. It seems so simple, right? Like, oh, just taking three deep breaths, right? And just releasing. But we can just be moving so much, and we may not even be aware that sometimes we just need to take a moment to pause, stop everything we're doing, and just take a few deep breaths. So shout out to you for doing that in this moment. All right? I'm lighting the Palo Santo stick again, y'all. And so it's been a while. It's been a while, y'all. It's been a while. It's been a while since the last time that we were together. And the word of the week was self-care. And the intention of the week was to find ways to prioritize self-care daily. Something within that realm, right? Finding ways to prioritize self-care daily. And I wanted to share a quick reflection before we move on to figuring out what is the new word of the week and what's the new intention of the week. And so with self-care, it's all about you. It is all about you. And one of the things that I realized was that, especially for people who have been told to care for others, taking a moment to care for you, to understand what self-care looks like for you, could be really intimidating. It could be this new thing and not knowing where to start. And so it's in those moments where we have people who might be a little bit more familiar with self-care that can show us different ways that we can develop and incorporate self-care in our life. And sometimes that means we are engaging in self-care practices with other people. And there's nothing wrong with that. I felt like the last time I spoke, I shared that self-care is meant to be something that you do by yourself. And maybe eventually it gets there, but it doesn't always have to start off that way. It doesn't always have to look that way either. So even if you have all the different practices in your self-care toolkit, it doesn't mean that you have to do all of them by yourself. There could be practices that, you know, involve multiple people, one other person, and that's totally fine. You know, sharing those moments, especially those relationships that you're trying to build, right? Being able to share those moments of self-care together is really powerful. Another thing is that, you know, again, self-care is going to look different each time because our needs are going to always look different. You know, what care might look for us yesterday is going to be different than what it will look like for tomorrow, and it's different than what it will look like for today. It's similar to our own capacity, right? We might have more capacity to do something for ourselves and less capacity to do it later on, and that's okay. You know, sometimes self-care is just saying, no, I'm not going to do that today. And being okay with that, you know, acknowledging like what we need for us to take care of ourselves. And so that's my reflection about self-care. I hope that you are able to continue to find ways to prioritize it, whatever it may look like for you, and that you start that journey if you haven't already, because we deserve that. We deserve that care. We deserve to be able to develop that type of relationship, that type of connection with ourselves, where we are tapped into like what we need, but we also find ways to give it to ourselves and honor those needs. So our body is always talking to us. It's letting us know what it needs. When we need rest, when we're thirsty, it lets us know. When we're hungry, when we need connections, when we need to feel connected to other people, our body lets us know. So just being able to tap into that and finding ways, different ways to nourish yourself, to give those things to yourself is self-care. All right. And so now I've shared a quick reflection about self-care. I want to move on to the word of the week. What's the word of the week? 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 I got a bowl. What's the word of the week? I got a bowl. What's the word of the week? Got a bowl. What's the word of the week? The bowl got the words. Got the bowl got the words. The bowl got the bowl. Got the bowl got the words. All right. Apparently, I am just singing everything. So thank you for indulging. All right. All right, y'all. So what's the word of the week gonna be? I gotta give myself a countdown. I'm gonna do this too long. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. What's the word, y'all? What's the word? Dun, 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 dun. Okay. All right. All right. The word of the week is truth, y'all. Truth. Let's take some time to just sit with that. Truth. Truth. Thing with truth is that multiple truths can exist at the same time. That's like, it's not something I made up, by the way. This is like statements, beliefs, that values that have been shared in different spaces that I've been in. It makes so much sense to me. I think that when we make space for the fact that multiple truths can exist, I think that allows for us to lean more into understanding. I think that what happens is that we get into this battle of who truth is the truth, right? And that means that because my truth is true, your truth can't be true. Or my truth is more true and your truth is less true. And how we engage in that oftentimes is why we run into so many different conflicts and why communication or different opinions or beliefs can be really tough. But when we lean into the belief that our truths, our experiences, our perspectives, and even if it is different from our own, that we have a chance to understand someone else's perspective and they have a chance to understand our perspective, when the purpose of connecting with people is to understand one another. I think that's when we really get a chance to understand what it means to be human, you know, and like that human connection piece, right? It's like I'm not trying to fight you about whose truth is real. I just want to understand your perspective. And I also want you to understand my perspective, right? Like it has to be this mutual commitment. It has to be this mutual effort that we are both engaging in, right? And that's like something that I always am firm, I stand firm about, is that if I'm having conversations, when I'm having conversations with people and I'm sharing my truth, that my intention is not to say that their truth is not their reality, but to learn to understand and hear that. And I'm gonna tell you, sometimes it's hard too, especially when you feel passionate about your truth, right? Or it's a shared experience and there's a different perspective of how someone else experienced that truth, and you're like, oh, where were you at? How did you experience this? You know, like this don't make no sense. You know, it's like it could be a lot of different emotions that can come up. You know, and being able to stay grounded in the intention of understanding, I think, is the pathway forward. You know, and when we say, you know, things like that didn't happen or that's not true, right? At that moment, we are taking away someone else's truth, right? And again, it's just to understand theirs. And then just by us understanding someone else's truth doesn't necessarily mean that we take away from our own, you know? If anything, it gets to expand. You know, we get to gain more perspective. You know, that's what I think about, that's what I think this, like, that's what I think it's all about. It's about conversation, and it's about opening our hearts, opening our minds. But really, we gotta open our hearts. You know, really open our hearts to like what is happening. You know, I think people have closed hearts too many times, and that gets in the way of being able to understand one another. And oftentimes, even, you know, sometimes it goes bigger than just like, you know, you might be having a conversation with one person, but that one person represents a group or identity of people who have a shared experience, right? And so then it gets in the way of being able to understand not only just that person, but a group of people. And so this is some reflection I have about truth. Of course, there's facts as well, right? Like the facts, and that is also true. I think facts can be interesting as well. You know, it's like, especially when we have so much information that we're constantly getting, right? Like what's facts, what's not facts, and you know who determines what facts is, and like all of that, blah 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 blah. But I think the truth that I want to focus solely on is like the truth of our own lived experiences and our perspectives, and that can be a part of our perspective, right? Like the things that we were taught. But we also have a chance, our truths have a chance to evolve. They don't have to stay the same. I was talking about that earlier about, right? Like when we lean into the intention of understanding other people, we get a chance to expand our truth. And so just kind of thinking about that, and so with just thinking about that, thinking about that, the intention of the week is to expand your truth. You know, expand what you know to be true. And really the invitation is to learn about other people's perspectives, to lean into understanding someone else's experience, and just see what comes from that. So that's what I'm committing to this week, is to expand my truths my experience, my understanding of my experiences, and being able to being able to like understand other people and see what conversations can come from that. But also see what conflicts can be resolved from that as well, you know, or misunderstandings or areas of confusion that can be resolved by just like understanding someone else's perspective. Because I think when I think of like frustration, you know, anytime I think of the moments I'm frustrated, is because I didn't understand something. And once I understand it, I'm not frustrated. And like when you are not frustrated, the understanding, like the ability to like receive things is just so much different, at least for me. But when I'm frustrated, it's so hard to receive certain things. And it's like, need to cool off a little bit, you know? Um, so yeah, that's my invitation for the week. The intention of the week is to expand your truths, whatever that may look like. And maybe you want to do a different intention around truth, or maybe it's another word, but I invite you to figure out what is your intention of the week. You know, intentions allow for us to just be more guided, more directed in how we move throughout the week. So thank you for being here. We're going to end with gratitude. Two things that I'm grateful for is I'm grateful for this word, truth. Every word is timely. I'm excited to see how and where truth fits in my week. And the second thing that I'm grateful for is I'm grateful to be back. Grateful to be back. It's been a while. I miss y'all. I miss the space. Miss these moments. And I'm excited to get back into the rhythm of Mass Mondays, y'all. So be on the lookout. I hope that you have a phenomenal rest of the week. Take care of yourself, whatever that may look like. Continue to prioritize that self-care. Continue to explore your truths, but also expand your truths, y'all. I'm Carter. This is Mass Mondays, and I will see you until next time. Peace.